left a body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow. I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat.
Hello, we're back with a Manchester United review. It was United v Everton. An unbelievable result, 4-0 win against Everton at Old Trafford. I'm not going to lie, I've just whacked everything on the screen for you to see. Instead of sort of flicking with new images coming up on the screen, I just thought I'd put everything on the screen at once. So, starting off with obviously the score, it was a 4-0 victory in Amarim's first Premier League game at Old Trafford, which is all good. It's not quite there, but it is on the verge of getting a little bit giddy. Amarim's football is very exciting. It's a different formation to what we've seen so far, but it does seem like it is actually working at the moment. What we're going to do is we're just going to run through sort of player ratings, a little bit about the goals and stuff as well. So all we're going to do is just have a quick chat and then we'll call it a day. So, start off with the ratings. We're looking at Andre Onana first of all. I've actually gone with a 7 rating. Didn't do anything wrong. Good with his feet. Got the play going. Pretty standard Onana, really. He's kind of cut out his mistakes a little bit, I'd have said, so far, fingers crossed. He's cut out his mistakes. He seems to be doing the basics well. And he's also sort of hitting those long passes that he wasn't hitting last season. It was kind of just going out of play or lofting over some people's heads. I don't know whether that's kind of been worked by Ten Hag and obviously filtered into Amarim's system. Either way, I'm pleased with Onana. He's been arguably our best player this season. Up there with sort of Dalot maybe. AMAD, that sort of thing, but I'll get into AMAD in a second as it's on the screen. But yeah, overall, Onana, a 7. Very, very pleased with his performance today. All the basics correct. You look at a Pickford at the other side. And personally, I'd have went for Pickford in the summer and try to get him. But we went for Onana. I don't have any qualms with him at the moment. Mazraoui, he's been solid. He's been a very Dennis Irwin type 8s, 9s out of 10 so far. I don't think today was his best game. Although he didn't play bad, he didn't necessarily have the best of games either. I did notice him losing the ball a couple of times and just sort of struggling getting back and keeping up pace, which is very, very unlike him. Everyone's entitled to game off, do you know what I mean? He still had a 6, no mistakes, solid-ish, but you need a little bit more from him going forward. Passes through the lines and that kind of thing, setting up plays, which obviously the next player did. I've got De Ligt and Martinez both on a 7 together. Both did the same job as each other, basically. They got the play started, they took the ball from Onana on the half turn, tried to find the pass straight into either Xerxes or like Rashford, Bruno, forward players basically. Trying to get that the ball moving quicker, try to get it forward, try to get into the final third as quickly as possible. We did have a lot of possession. First half, I thought we started well, first 10-15 minutes. Obviously, Everton grew into the game and had a few chances. Caught us on the attack with a bit of pace and stuff like that as well. So that can, on the transition, we need to sort of toughen up. We need to be more rigid and get back a little bit quicker and sort of set in the lines a bit quicker, just to stop that big hole in the middle in front of De Ligt and Martinez to open up and let obviously their creative players get in the zone and sort of find the feet and get a touch of the ball. We need to sort of clamp that down a little bit. But overall, 7s each for De Ligt and Martinez. Reasonably impressed with that. I'm quite happy with that. So we'll go from Dalot across. So we'll get to AMAD in a second. Dalot, again, solid. One of our best players this season. He's had a very, very good first half of the season, up to Christmas anyway. I don't think it suits him being this far forward. I do quite like him coming from deep and going as a right back rather than a right wing back or a left wing back. Sort of attacking the space in front of him rather than sort of getting the ball turning and then going. I do rather have him sort of attacking that space. But he does invert. He does come into the centre. He does pick up the ball in those spaces where Casemiro and Menu sort of vacate to let him come inside and get the ball, which I do quite like. So overall, it was a 7. It was decent. The balls in the box were decent. He looks to go forward. No mistakes going back. Happy days. yeah, quite happy. Also, to mention, we'll jump over to Dalot on the other side, because obviously that's the back five that we're on about, and then we'll go to the midfield as well. So Dalot is Diallo even. They should never have Jello and Dalot in the same team, by the way. It's just not a good idea. But Ahmad, we'll call him Ahmad. That's easier, isn't it? Ahmad and Dalot. Ahmad on one side is just, he's impeccable. He's absolutely unbelievable. He's come, obviously went on loan to Sunderland. He's come back from Sunderland with just a new lease of life. He's absolutely incredible. He picks up the ball. He's never frightened of taking the ball. He always keeps possession. His decision making is incredible. Going forward, the ball sticks to his feet. Going back, he works hard. He hustles. He bustles. He gets the ball back, and then he's still got enough in the tank to turn around, go the other way, and make the wing back chase him as well. Everything that we want from Ahmad, we're getting at the moment. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. He was man the match by a million miles. He didn't even get on the score sheet. That shows how good Ahmad was today. He's up there with one of the best players in the league at the moment. He might not get the credit because Man United are a bit poor at the minute, but Ahmad is making us tick, and he's the main player for us at the moment, and you can't put a downer on his performances at all. So, man of the match, a shout out to Diallo because he's absolutely unbelievable. So, going on to Kobbie Mainoo. He's been out a while for injury. It kind of took its toll on him a little bit. I think he had a 6 today. Nobody loves Kobbie Mainoo more than I do. Nobody. He's England's best player, for one. He's Man United's probably best player, just behind Bruno. But he makes us tick. He was a bit sort of lapse in concentration today. I know a couple of times he got the ball off a Nana. It went under his foot, a bad touch, and the nicked in. Got the chance, obviously got the yellow card as well. Didn't have an extremely bad game. He kept the ball well when he was on the ball, but a couple of slips in concentration. It's literally just because he hasn't been in the team in a while. He's been injured. He's just getting back. So I'll give him a 6 today, alongside a Casemiro 6 out of 10 as well. Casemiro's he's a weird player to watch. He's a very, very weird player to watch. Sometimes you watch him and you think, yeah, he's won Champions Leagues. And other times you look at him and think, can't control the ball. It's absolutely nuts. It's mental to watch him play. But he was solid today. He got the ball when we needed him. He does go to ground a lot, which I'm not a massive fan of for a centre midfielder. Because if they do slip past him, the 1-on-1 on our back four. Back three in this case, but you know what I mean. So Casemiro was a 6 today. He needs to learn. I'm telling Casemiro how to play football. He's won 4 Champions Leagues, 5 Champions Leagues. But you know what I mean. He needs to stay on his feet. I know his legs are gone a little bit. That's maybe why he sort of just takes the yellow card and goes to ground. But he's got to stop doing that because he's leaving us vacating space in the middle. Obviously, I know Dalot inverts and covers that space a little bit, but needs to be more wary of what's behind him. And at the moment, the way we are at the moment, we just need to stay compact and we need to stay rigid. And we need to stop the spaces and stop them sort of picking up the ball and turning and running at our defence. That's on the transitions especially. Casemiro's getting booked, Mainoo's getting booked as well. And it's all because they're on the wrong side and they bring him down to get a booking. And Agate is the same as well, but obviously Agate didn't start today. I'm only going on about the first 11 today, by the way. So, going up to the front three. So, Marcus Rashford, I've actually done an 8 out of 10. It was one of his better games today. He looked very, very extremely sharp today. He looked like he got his pace back. He looked like he was working hard. He was closing down the space. He was getting in those little half spaces, collecting the ball and trying to put other people in. It was like a kind of rotated 3 up front. So sometimes Rashford was out right, sometimes he was out left, sometimes he was the 9. Closing the keeper down, going over to close the wing back down. I'm quite happy with those 3 up front, to be fair. Obviously, I'll get to him in a minute, but he's not my preferred number 9 up front. Obviously, I'd put Højlund in. But Xerxes, I'll go Rashford first. So Rashford got his goals, got his 2 goals. Considering this is his worst bout of form, he's getting on the score sheet, which is always good. He scored midweek and he scored today twice. If the first one counted as his, I'm not too sure. It was a great strike, good positioning to get in that position to take the strike. And obviously he's got the reward for having the shot as well. So that is all good. So 8 out of 10. The one behind Ahmad. Ahmad and Rashford today were extremely impressive. Going over to Bruno, who was the other major standout for me today. I know he only got a 7, but that's because the amount of times the ball got turned over from him. I know he's the risk taker. I know he's trying to find that killer instinct, that killer pass to the likes of Rashford and Xerxes and Højlund when he plays and Ahmad. But he was very wasteful. But on the other hand, he did get 2 assists. So the 2 assists for Bruno obviously builds his rating up a little bit, but he does need to be wary that he needs to look up, because I think Amarim's changed it a little bit from Bruno getting the ball and pinging it direct and trying to get on the transition. His first pass is normally safe now. He normally sort of goes back to Manu, goes back to Ugarte, back to Casemiro, back to De Ligt, back to Martinez. Just keep the ball a little bit. It doesn't have to go straight away. It does sort of calm it. He does sort of play it slowly. When he's got a bit of space, then he pings it, which I'm about. And I think Amarim's adjusted that slightly from Ten Hag, because Ten Hag was get the ball forward as soon as possible, and it didn't always work, and it was very, very wasteful from Bruno. Right. So, Xerxes, I've given him a 6, just out of pure politeness, because I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's a Man United player. I don't want to sort of dish him out and sort of say he's awful, because he's not awful. He's got good touches, but the amount of times he misplaces the pass, he's slow. I just don't think he's quite up to it. When you compare him to Højlund, who's 100 mile an hour, sprinting after things, he's closing people down, he's clinical Højlund in front of goal. Give him a chance and he does score. Xerxes is the opposite of that. He strolls around, he jogs, his touches are poor, his duels are awful. Absolutely, I don't have the stats in front of me, but his duels are awful. If you want to look yourself, you can. But the little flicks in the air and stuff like that, I can kind of understand, because I did that myself when I played. I kind of understand that. But he does need to sort of come and show for the ball a little bit. Try and get him behind, but he doesn't have the pace. So you've got to play it to your strengths a little bit. Use your large frame, sort of protect the ball, bring others in. Bring Rashford, bring Bruno, Ahmad, Dalot, Mazraoui, whoever's around, Manu even, who's supporting. He needs to sort of get up and be strong. Use his frame. He's huge. He's an absolute unit. Use your frame and sort of dictate the play from the final third. But I don't think he does that. I'll be honest with you. Personally, I'm not a massive fan of him. But we do have options now. So we've got to the point now where we have injuries that are sort of fading into our team. Luke Shaw came on sort of second half, played well. Luke Shaw is Luke Shaw. He's very frustrating because he doesn't play enough. But obviously, he is world class when he does play. But that is the major statement for a player. The best type of ability is availability, and Luke Shaw doesn't quite have that. But when he plays, he's amazing. So, who am I to argue? At least we've got him and we're not playing against him. That's all I'm saying. Other players that obviously came on, Harry Maguire made an appearance. Solid. Kept a clean sheet. All you can ask for. Kept the ball well. Got the ball forward as well. Sort of went left, went right, went forward when he had to. All you can ask, really. A couple of introductions from Mason Mount and from Ugarte as well. Mason Mount does what Mason Mount does. He hustled, he bustled, he worked hard, he got the ball back. He went forward when he can. He carried it. He got us up the pitch. I personally quite like Mason Mount. I think in this Amarim system, he's going to flourish in this system, because I think Mason Mount is a good player. He's shown that for Chelsea. He's shown it for Derby. He is a good player. So fingers crossed, Mason Mount gets a little bit more play time. But then again, who are you going to take out? You're going to take out Bruno, Rashford, Garnacho, Ahmad. You know what I mean? Garnacho did what he needed to do when he came on. He was very direct, like he normally is. He got at the fullback, created a couple of chances. Again, Garnacho's final product's not quite there. Decision making, again, not quite there. But he is only young. He is young. He is still hungry. He works hard for the ball. He deserves the ball when he gets it. He deserves to have a goal, use his ability. He's fast. He's tricky. He's clinical. He's prolific. But he does need to choose the right decision when he gets to that point as well. So, overall, a 9 from Amad Diallo. He did get my man of the match today, as you can see on the screen. He's holding the badge. What a lad. And those are the player ratings from me. I'm not going to rate the subs because it went on long enough to get a rating, to be honest with you. So it's too early to be giddy. However, we do have a game midweek against Arsenal. And I might be about to say some crazy stuff if we beat Arsenal in midweek. Amarim Ball is here. This is the way to Amarim. Come on, lads.